Sometimes reality TV shows can cause quite a stir on social media. And there has been one incident that people have been talking about regarding the winner of The Biggest Loser for the 15th season, Rachel Fredrickson. Now, some of you guys have maybe seen these pictures or the internet memes or screenshots of the trainers on the show, Jillian Michaels and Bob Harper, and their expression pretty much sums up all our concern about the winner. Now, Rachel, who's 5'4", dropped from 260 pounds to 105 pounds, which means she lost 155, nearly 60% of her body weight. While most people seem to be concerned about the drastic changes of her body, some people out there seem to be throwing a lot of hateful comments, words like gross, awful, why? So what are your thoughts? Let us know during the first song. This is Alicia Keys with Girl on Fire. That was Alicia Keys with Girl on Fire. And you guys are now tuned to TBS efm 101.3, listening to What's Poppin'. And the first half of our show is brought to you by Sempio and Hwanin Pharmaceutical. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to What's Poppin' with Brian Ju on TBS efm 101.3 in Seoul and surrounding areas, GFN 98.7 in Gwangju, and 93.7 in Yeosu. Now, here are some ways you can get in contact with us. Send us a text to #1013, but you will be charged 51. We're live in the studio today, so give us a call at 02-778-1013. Hit us up on Twitter at TBS What's Poppin', or send us an email to efmpoppin@gmail.com. And of course, we have to give you guys a great update for a lot of you guys who wanted to be here for the past 2 weeks. Of course, you know we didn't have our open studio. It's been a long break, but we're finally going to have our open studio recording this Wednesday. So be prepared for a Valentine's Day themed open studio. So if you're going to be here, come with love, a lot of hearts, big smiles, and try to be here about 10:45 a.m. in the morning, so we can get things started by 11 a.m. If you have any, information you would like to know or would like to give us information letting us know that you're going to be here, send us an email once again to efmpoppin@gmail.com. And since it is a Valentine's themed open studio, please come with a lot of love or chocolates. Either or is fine with me. With that said, now we're going to get into Pop a Verse. Now, we're going to do right now, you know what we do. It's been a while since we've been doing Pop a Verse. I'm going to drop a verse on you about my thoughts on what I gave you at the very beginning of our show. And you guys can go try to figure out which songs I took the verses from. So, check it out. Now, a few years ago, people would have loved to look like a model in a magazine. But now, we have all, better knowledge of those airbrushed, anorexic figures, and we're fully aware that those images are constructed by a team of photographers, technicians, computer experts, stylists, hairstylists, makeup artists, and the list goes on. And they also go through pre-production and post-production. Now, same goes to reality TV shows now. They create something to entertain viewers. And just like Jillian Michaels wrote on her Facebook, any questions or comments on The Biggest Loser should be directed to the show's producers and not the contestants. Now, Rachel, just like any other contestant on the show, did her best on beating obesity and getting back into shape and being healthy. Now, even if she did get a little carried away, I have to admit, I saw the episode twice just to make sure it wasn't like photoshopped or anything. It doesn't mean that she needs to go through a slew of negative comments and name calling. If anything, people should be happy for her victory. They really are concerned about the sudden drop in her weight. In the 7.5 month period, she went from 260 pounds to 105 pounds. That's really drastic. Now, I know a lot of experts are worried as well, and people should be sending her encouraging messages or concerned, just for her health, but not hate messages, because, she did this all on her own. She had the willpower to move on, to work out, fight obesity, and she doesn't need gossip. Instead, why don't you guys send her helpful tips? And if you actually ask me, if you see the episode, it's not just her, but the other runners-up, David and Bobby. Those three in general lost so much weight. But of course, when you're actually going up for $250,000, $250,000, you can do anything to lose that weight. And I have to admit, I probably would have done the same thing. And then once you get the money, then get back to a healthy weight. It's a game. It's not reality. It's reality TV, which is a game pretty much. Anyways, Rachel recently stated that her journey on the show was about finding that confident girl again. And she did. And she's going to embrace her fully. and she should. I agree with her. And the same goes to all of you out there who are just doing your own thing. And if anybody comes up to you and says anything mean or judgmental, just tell them, hate on me, hater, now or later, 'cause I'm gonna do me. You'll be mad, baby. Check it out. That was Jill Scott with Hate on Me. And you guys are now tuning into What's Poppin' with your boy Brian Jew. I'm going to go over some Twitter comments right now. BFFJ Walker JJ Addict just wrote, haha, this Jill Scott song is my anthem. Haters are the ones with problems, not Rachel that achieved her goal. Very true. I agree. You know, a lot of people are too judgmental. You know, you're watching a reality TV show, and if you're going to support these people who are doing their best to fight obesity, then, you know, be on their side. And then if you feel, you know, they lost a little weight, you know, give them words of encouragement and tips, not ew, awful, gross. That's not going to make the situation any better or you even better as a person in general. So try to be more motivational. Also, Yokonada wrote, good morning. I'd like to request Slow Jam by Monica and Usher. Thanks. Thank you very much. And she also wrote, 오늘 2시 공연 화이팅. Yes, actually today at 2 p.m. I'll be performing in Myeongdong. Yes, at a big mall. I don't want to say the name brand of the mall, but I'll be there. So if you guys are interested, holla at your boy. Also, May Ann wrote, people are not happy with others' success. Hashtag nothing new in this world. Yes. And Ebony wrote, hi Brian, how are you? Have a great day. Can you please play Halo by Beyonce, please and thanks. Alrighty, thank you guys for all your tweets. We'll keep all the songs in mind and set that up for the second half of our show, which is gonna be Poppin' Grooves. So you guys know today's R&B day, and a lot of people get confused. You guys are sending in requests on the wrong days for the wrong types of music. It's R&B music, not country music, not dance music, not club music, y'all. It's R&B grooves. All right, guys, and for perfect example, we got the next song set up for you guys. This is my talented brother. I like to say brother because I met him before. Whoever I meet and I like, I call him family. This is Nia with So Sick. All right, y'all, it's that time again. Time for Brian's tips to tip the scale. Alrighty, the controversy about Rachel Fredrickson brought attention to me, of course, and I'm going to give you guys some tips. Now, some of the fellow contestants were worried because on the season finale, to be honest, like I said, you have your own opinions. You can't be mean, but she did look a little too thin and weak and unhealthy, but that can happen. So efforts to slim down are almost always followed by a few moments of weakness, especially in the early stages of weight loss. You can feel fatigue or frustration, but that doesn't mean that it gives you a reason to give up or give into the temptation of a muffin. So here are some snack ideas to deliver, energy and calm cravings without messing up your diet and efforts. So here are my snack ideas. Dark chocolate. And I emphasize this. You guys have to pick the ones with a cacao content of at least 70%. And they're rich in flavonoids and magnesium, which can provide the energy boost that you guys need. Also, a date with a dab of peanut butter. A lot of people are freaked out about peanut butter, but no. Peanut butter has unsaturated or good fats that our body actually needs. So small amounts can help our cravings. And also a handful of berries. Yes, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. Probably one of the healthiest snacks out there because they're low in sugar and still sweet. And we all crave those sweets. Hope that helped you guys out. If you're having those cravings, go reach for those healthy snacks right now while we check out the next song. This is Lloyd with Do It Again. Welcome back to the second half of What's Poppin'. This is Brian Jew, and now it's time for Poppin' Grooves, filled with smooth grooves of R&B and soulful music. If you guys have a request, please feel free to send us a text to sharp at pound 1013 for a charge of 51 per text, of course. Also, you can hit us up on Twitter and send us messages. But most importantly, we're live today, y'all. So I emphasize, give us a call, 02-778-1013. Have a little chat with me, with your boy B, and send in a request at the same time. I love to hear from our listeners, so please emphasize y'all call in. Alrighty, but for now, we have a word from our sponsor, and I'll be right back. This is Korean. All right, welcome back. We're going to get into Poppin' Grooves. You know what that means. We're going to play some smooth R&B music for you. I'm trying to get in the mood. Not try to get all hyper and everything because we're not doing dance music. We're going to be doing some slow, beautiful R&B soulful music. All righty. Now, there was a little bit of entertainment news about Nelly and Ashanti getting back together. And they've been on and off for about 7 years now. Now, I'm not trying to get into details of this, but what I want to mention is Ashanti. Now, she's been in the game even before Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, Rihanna, and many other artists that you see at the top of the charts. And just because you don't see them on the higher rankings on the charts doesn't mean they've got mad talent. They just, it's the next artist. This next artist, you gotta listen to this person. Beautiful vocals. I know a lot of people don't know this artist too much, but this person is just as talented as the other artists that are named. This is Lettucey with Pieces of Me. That was Pieces of Me by Lettucey. Now, for those of you who don't know, Lettucey's a talented vocalist with a very jazzy voice, of course, you just heard. And she's also been nominated for 8 Grammys. And she recently performed at Michelle Obama's 50th birthday. And, not a lot of people get those kind of opportunities. Now, starting April, she's going on tour around the U.S., hitting up 30 cities, and it's called the Truth Tour. So if you guys are interested, talented lady, go check her out. Alrighty, we're going to get in some Twitter comments right now because we're blowing up and we can't just avoid our listeners, of course. Ongni D just wrote, please play When I Was Your Man by Bruno Mars. Have a great work today. Send my love and cheer up to you. Fighting. Thank you very much. Ongni from Thailand. Also, who we got? Serena Chong just wrote, good morning, everyone. Greeting from Singapore. Have a great week ahead. Stay warm and take care, Brian. Your music, TBS, what's poppin'? Thank you very much. Linda just wrote, this song is great. It is a great song. I told you. Lettucey's got some great vocals. Michelle Smith just wrote, happy Monday, y'all. Can you please play Boyz II Men, End of the Road? One more. We got BFF Walker Addict, or JJ Addict. I love dark chocolate. I eat 90% cacao chocolate, and it only takes 2 pieces to be satisfied. Very true. Especially after a workout, a cruel, gruesome workout. I've noticed, if you just take about 1 or 2 little, square pieces of chocolate, of course, dark chocolate, it really helps you out. And I don't want to tell you why and get all into that because you guys be like, oh, we have already had health to tip the scale stuff in the first part of the show. You're going too overboard, Brian. That's my job. I overdo it. What? Anyways, we have the next song set up for you guys. And of course, Ebony requested this song, so I'm going to hook it up for my girl Ebony. Great song by a great artist. You know who this is, man. This is Beyonce. No further ado, check it out. Halo. That was Halo by Beyonce. Great song. Great artist. I love this artist, of course. I loved her since Destiny's Child, but even as a solo artist, she's doing her thing, and she's beautiful, talented. There's nothing wrong with this girl. Anyways, you will not believe how many artists out there, of course. I think Beyonce, too, fits in this category. Not sure. Got to check up on my, information online. But you don't know how many artists out there have started out in a church choir. And as a look, there's info about artists that we prepare for you today from Wikipedia. This person actually starts off by saying that he started his singing in a church, then made it, made me think about my times too growing up. I did the church thing, the church choir thing, and I went to a Catholic school, did the choir, gospel choir thing, and it was fun. And of course, it's cool to hear these things, especially because you see a lot of artists who have been singing in a church choir in the section of their early careers. Some old school artists like Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, Whitney Houston. There's also, of course, Justin Timberlake, Beyonce, see though I told you, Britney Spears, Katy Perry, Avril Lavigne, and so many more to this list that we can add that goes on and on. Now, our next artist that I want to bring to the table, great artist, Tevin Campbell. Yes, a lot of kids nowadays probably don't know who Tevin Campbell is, never heard the name, but this dude, back in the day when he first came out, his smooth vocals had girls going cray. They're going goo goo gaga. I can't even speak right now because he's so talented. All right. So with no further ado, this dude, great vocals, and he also sang at a church. And that's how, he was arranged for an audition for a famous jazz musician, and he landed him a record deal. So check it out. This is Tevin Campbell with Can We Talk. That was Tevin Campbell with Can We Talk. Like I told you, great song. And it's funny because a lot of people nowadays don't want to talk. They're always on their, smartphones and emailing each other, messaging each other. And that's all it takes. All you got to do is go up to somebody, be like, hey, excuse me, can we talk for a minute? Just sitting down, having a nice cup of coffee and having a conversation could change the world. Try it. People don't do it nowadays that much, but try it, y'all. You'll see how great it'll do for you and your love life maybe too. But right now we're going to go to the next song because that's what we're doing here. We're going to play some R&B music. And these group of 4 dudes, great talented guy. And the requester is going to be Michelle Smith, and she requested a song by Boys to Men and a great track called End of the Road. That was End of the Road by Boys to Men. Great song. But unfortunately, right now, we're at the end of our show. Now, somewhere down in history, I think there was a point where people became very obsessed with the way their facial features looked and their bodies looked. But as long as your life is centered on well-rounded health and the importance of eating well, moving well, and sleeping well, there's no reason for others to hate or you to hate yourself. And isn't that the constructive message that we've been told ever since we're little? So go out, be the best that you can be. And you know what? Haters gonna hate, you know? They have nothing else to do. So, just stay positive and don't worry about the haters out there. I'm gonna leave y'all with the last song for our show, but don't be sad because I'll be back tomorrow. This is India Ari with Video. Brian G right here, signing off. Peace.